Hello everyone, it's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell and like this video. That helps me to keep making videos, and I would appreciate it majorly. I know there's something going on at YouTube. It's so obvious, but I haven't gotten into it, and it's not just everybody. It's all fake, dude. It's not just YouTube. I am telling you, dude. It's very Trumpy looking to me. And I know other channels are being suppressed too, but I just don't buy it, dude. I don't buy it for a second. And those other channels are making money or getting paid with campaign money, campaign donations. Believe it, dude, one way or another. And because I'm totally insignificant, and yet I seem to be. I mean, I'm this tiny little channel, and then my growth is completely gone. I can barely even get a subscriber a day. It's a joke. But and I'm not saying, I don't know, I'll deal with that in another video. I don't really care. I don't care. That's why I just keep making videos just to spite the assholes who are behind it. And it's just to me, it's the campaign. It's probably has something to do with the ADL, which loves Trump. And I'm not against the ADL, but it doesn't matter. It's not like I love the ADL, but I don't really care. I don't really care about most of this stuff. I'm just telling you the way I see it and trying to say what's really going on. It doesn't mean I'm right, but anyway, so the developments, and they are getting totally serious, man. It's getting pretty crazy on all the language coming out. The attack was huge. It really was an unbelievable strike on Saudi Arabia, cutting their oil production in half, or the refining capabilities of it. With this type of strike was shocking. No matter where it came from, whether it came from the Houthi rebels in Yemen, backed by Iran, or by Iran itself, from Iran and Iraq, and these are the new developments that basically Pompeo and senior, officials in the Trump administration are claiming that it didn't come from the Houthi rebels in Yemen, the northern border of that border Saudi Arabia, down in this area where they control some of that, a fair amount of that territory. But they're claiming, the State Department, Pompeo is claiming it came directly from, they believe, from Iran or Iraq, from that territory, based on the number of strikes that actually happened, the precision of the strikes, and the kind of the angle at which they were struck. They all seem to be struck from the northwest corner, in the northwest corner of each facility that was struck, and it's like 17 different locations, I believe, here in just Kiak. If I have that, it says approximately 7 points of impact on key infrastructure. That doesn't necessarily mean 17 points of impact just in this location, because it was also Kariz as well, which is like another 200 miles west of Kiak. But they're claiming that at least I believe in this satellite imagery photo, which you can bring up yourself on Google Satellite, which I did, and we'll look at very quickly. They're claiming that the northwest corner of each of these strikes, the northwest corner was struck, which would indicate, doesn't necessarily have to be, but it would indicate northwest corner would be upper left-hand portion, which would almost indicate like Iraq, upper left-hand side coming from Iraq, possibly. It's possible that the drones were fired from Yemen and circled around. I mean, that's possible as well. Or I think they're not necessarily convinced that they in fact were even drone attacks, because they're saying you have 17 points of impact, at least from 19 targets, the officials said, were struck, and the Houthi rebels, they claimed responsibility. They went on television, whatever like state-run television that they control in that part of the country. They went on television, some Houthi rebel general or whatever. I saw he's speaking Arab, his statement that he made, claiming they took responsibility for it, and they claimed 10 drones did it. And obviously it's difficult to have 19 targets hit with 10 drones. Another point of point of interest from the State Department. Anyway, so, but now you're seeing Trump has tweeted out some language that's pretty provocative, even for Trump, you know. And I mean, even if you're a Trump supporter, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter what Trump says. If you're a Trump supporter, it's always good. But it's not good. Okay, it's not good at all. And it's particularly, you know, how he cozies up to Saudi Arabia, and basically seems to be waiting for their, you know, call on, you know, how to proceed. I mean, that's how he tweeted it, all right? And I'll read it in a second. I mean, I saw the headline, which is what prompted me to make this video and to begin with over at the Daily Mail, and they always have provocative headlines, you know, meant to get your attention. But it says, Trump says the U.S. is locked and loaded as it awaits confirmation that Iran was the culprit behind the drone attack on Saudi oil fields. And Trump, I mean, in his own tweet actually goes a little bit further in terms of, I don't know, the language didn't sit well with me. And it states, Saudi Arabia oil supply was attacked. This is from like just an hour ago. There is reason to believe that we know the culprit, are locked and loaded depending on verification, but are waiting to hear from the kingdom as to who they believe was the cause of this attack and under what terms we would proceed. I don't know. It just seemed, you know, it's no secret that basically, you know, the U.S. is allied with Saudi Arabia in this scenario, and has been for forever when it comes to Iran. But still, you know, waiting to hear from the kingdom as to who they believe was the cause of this attack and under what terms we would proceed. I don't know, dude. Didn't seem too good to me. So, you know, like I said, Pompeo basically provided some senior administration official briefed CNN on information to back up Pompeo's claims. And that's what's stated in this article. The official pointed to the angle at which the Saudi oil facilities were attacked, the number of points of impact, and other information to argue that it is unlikely the attacks were carried out by Yemen. Instead, the officials suggested the attacks most likely originated in Iran or Iraq. It is very difficult to see how these things could have come from anywhere but Iran or Iraq, these senior administration officials said. The official said 19 Saudi targets were struck in Saturday's attack, and argued that such an attack would not be carried out with 10 drones, which the Houthis claim to have used. You can't hit 19 targets with 10 drones like that, the official said. The official, drawing on commercial satellite imagery shared with CNN, also noted that all the points of impact on Saudi facilities were on the northwest side of them, which is somewhat difficult to do from Yemen. The official could not say whether it's possible the drones from Yemen could have angled around to attack northwest facilities. So, you know, I had showed a picture before of a drone that was of the type that supposedly may have been used, the UAVX. It wasn't like this picture here, though, but that's what this article's about. And supposedly, you know, these are the culprits. These kamikaze drones are believed to be the culprits of the attacks on 2 Saudi oil fields. Here's what we know about them. And there's a picture of one of them. The one I showed before was different than that. It was just different, you know. And but it was stated that it was a UAVX, and I think it was the one, you know, used in the oil pipeline attack that occurred in March 2019. You know, not long ago, 6 months ago, less than that, whatever. So, I mean, that's kind of where we are. But this is definitely what got my attention. I did want to show this. I don't even know if I mentioned this. There's a couple times I've tried to do this. This photo here, it's turned on its side. So when I tried to find this at first, I couldn't find it in Abqaiq. The oil processing facilities they're talking about, because this thing is basically the north side is right there. That's north, and this is east, and this is west, and this is south. I don't know why they did that. I guess to fit everything into the image on the page here, possibly. But I don't know. It just threw me off when I was trying to find it. Because, well, let's just kind of zoom in, and I'll show you what we're talking about. And just so you get a bird's eye view of it. And there's a number of facilities. I mean, this is Aramco. This is, you know, the state-run oil company in Saudi Arabia. That, like I said in my last video or previous video, that they were going to be going public a year ago. For some reason, it got postponed. It's going to be the biggest IPO in history. It's massive, you know, and many major U.S. banks are participating in the underwriting of it, as well as some, you know, some Saudi-run banks as well, obviously. So, but this is that's what we're looking at right there. There's six, that cluster of six, you know, six circular buildings right there. You know, and up here is, I don't know if this is like Aramco headquarters. It's more like civilian buildings. You know, it's not quite as industrial. You know, it's more like city-like, urban. And here's where you have a lot of the industrial type things going on. But just so you have a frame of reference, you know, this is those six clusters and the three that are right beneath it. And that's what this is. And then when you turn it so that you get it to look just like the photo in CNN, because we're going to be looking at this over here and this over here, you'll see. All right, so nice. So basically, oh, here we go, that'll help. You know, there's the three that we're looking at in this picture, just so you know. And there's the three small little cluster right there, and then there's the 4, 4, and 3, and here's the 4, 4, and 3, and there's, you know, whatever that is. And these are the obviously the ones that have the red squares or rectangles around them, or were the points of impact. And these are 17 points of impact. So I assume two more impact strikes were in Kariz, which is the city that's about 200 miles west of Al-Kiyak, you know, which was the other location that was struck. I guess only two places were impacted there, I'm assuming, since they say 19. You know, I don't know why they turned that on its side. It just kind of confused me, and I was like, why'd they do that? So, you know, this is up the top here is actually east. So that's over towards Iran, you know, and this is west and this is north. So apparently these things were struck in the northwest corner. That would be here, and this is west over here. So in the left bottom corner of these facilities, you know, here and here. Anyways. But this tweet is definitely pretty crazy, man. And we'll see, dude. You know, we'll see. I mean, it basically makes it sound like we're about to ready to bomb Iran. And Iran had already mentioned earlier in today, before this, when Pompeo was basically saying that it was Iran that was behind this. And it might have been at the point, because first Pompeo just said Iran is behind it. Everybody did, because it was coming from the Houthi rebels. Everybody know Iran's, you know, that's Iran that backs them, that arms them, etc. But at some point, Pompeo stepped up and said, you know, the attacks didn't even come from them, came directly from Iraq or Iran themselves, you know, from Iran territory. And this here, you know, Trump saying this. But earlier in the day, Trump, the Iranians basically, they didn't basically, they did. They said, we're ready for war. You know, Iran has said they're ready for war. And they're frequently, you know, they're almost like Trump. They don't back down in the least, and they're kind of smartasses in all their remarks. You know, it's this back and forth, but they're very Trump-like, you know, so, but I don't know. That's where we are. That's the story there. That is the story there, dude. And the Eagles game is starting right now. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. See you in the next video. Later, man.